Noxus is not just an empire, it is an arena where strength decides everything, but even the strongest fear one name, Couteau, a family whose blades never miss, their schemes run deep. The Black Rose watches closely. The Grand General never looks away. But why? What dark secrets does this family hide? And more importantly, will all of its members survive? In this video, we will uncover the disappearance of their leader, Katarina's secret dealings with Swain, and the role of House Couteau in the intrigues of the Black Rose. Take a cozy seat in my humble tavern and let us get started. The head of the family is General Marcus Couteau, a legendary military commander and unsurpassed assassin who not only leads his house but also heads the Assassin's Guild. His wife is Soriana Couteau, a woman as cunning as she's formidable. Their daughters, Katarina and Cassiopeia, have been trained since childhood in diverse aspects of warfare and politics. And with them is Talon, an orphan Marcus took into his family and honed into a superb assassin. Before meeting Marcus, Talon was a nobody, a homeless vagrant lurking in Noxus' shadows. The street was his only mentor, and the blade his only language. He learned to kill to survive and soon became so skilled that the Imperial Tribunal itself deemed him a threat. But when assassins came for him, Talon slew them all. Then Marcus decided to handle this bold young killer personally. Their duel was swift. The general prevailed. Yet instead of execution, Talon was offered a choice: either die or become a weapon in Marcus's hands. Thus began his life in the Couteau family. Talon was loyal to Marcus. He respected him and saw him as his sole authority. But deep down, he yearned for acknowledgement. He wanted to be Couteau's heir, the only legitimate successor. And this brought him into conflict with Katarina. Katarina had been trained since childhood under her father's uncompromising guidance. She wielded daggers the way poets wield words, skillfully, elegantly, lethally. She climbed towers under cover of night, studied poisons, and became a silent shadow bearing death. Yet skill alone was insufficient. Noxus demanded absolute loyalty. Once Katarina disobeyed an order, believing she knew better than her father. Instead of eliminating a low-ranking officer named Demetrius, she killed an enemy commander. It proved disastrous. The Noxian troops were defeated and her father nearly died. Marcus did not forgive her disobedience. He sent Talon to kill Katarina. Their fight was brief but ended in a stalemate, leaving a scar over Katarina's left eye as a permanent reminder of the failure. 6 hours later, Katarina presented Demetrius' severed head in acknowledgement of her error. Confronted by the aftermath, she recognized that she had lost her father's favor, yet she still hoped someday to redeem herself in both his eyes and those of the Empire. She executed Noxus' foes and crushed conspiracies. But just when it appeared Katarina's place in history was settled, fate took a new turn. 4 years after the Swain's coup d'etat, Marcus vanished under mysterious circumstances, and the family concluded he'd been murdered. However, as a supporter of the new regime, Katarina made sure her skills became known to the new Grand General, Swain, rising to be one of the most esteemed assassins of his. For years, she eliminated Swain's political adversaries, stamping out rogue gangs and silencing those who continued to fight for Darkwill. Katarina believed the old order had to give way to a brighter future, free of tyrants and prejudices that robbed Noxians of the chance to prosper. One day, Katarina was unexpectedly taken to a remote location. Her assailant turned out to be her father, Marcus, who had in fact faked his death on Swain's orders. He confided his undercover activities in Demacia and revealed that Swain had altered the plan to give Katarina her greatest task yet: the covert assassination of King Jarvan III of Demacia, and the killing of Loxana Crown Guard amid the turmoil of the Mage Revolt led by Silas. Distrustful of Swain, Marcus warned Katarina that the Grand General had betrayed them both and was sending her on a suicide mission to ruin House Couteau's standing. Nevertheless, Katarina resolved to see the mission through, for success would be an undeniable triumph against any potential accusation. Upon locating Lux, Katarina chose not to kill her, empathizing with how this young woman was rejected by her own family and the prevailing Demacian regime. Katarina slew the king and slipped away undetected by the surviving Demacian guards, who then pinned the murder on Silas. However, her escape from the city was interrupted by Garen, who had received information that she was a mage aiding Silas. They engaged in a short yet savage duel that ended abruptly when they witnessed an explosion signaling the onset of rebellion. Seeing they could delay no longer, they parted ways and Katarina once again focused on fleeing Demacia. While the guards were distracted by the uprising, Katarina commandeered a raptor mount to leap the city walls. But an arrow struck and killed the mount. The shot came from Captain Jeridan, involved in some hidden scheme with secret orders to sabotage Katarina. Katarina survived the fall by a miracle, though one of her daggers broke. She hurried back to a Noxian safe house to recuperate under the care of a friend named Dran. Katarina also noticed Jeridan lurking outside and realized the situation might not be what it seemed. Whoever wanted her dead had deep knowledge of her family's secrets. With her father at large, she went home to confront the only likely suspect. During the meeting with Talon, Katarina's trust wavered when she caught a faint trace of her father's perfume and immediately tried to calm him. Her brother revealed he had helped fake Marcus's death in an intricate plan to replace Katarina and topple Swain. Just before he could deliver a lethal blow with Katarina's dagger, she grabbed her broken blade and sliced his eye. After that, Katarina chose to spare Talon. Turning to leave, she assured him that she never held a grudge for the scar he left on her face and wished he would break free from their father's legacy, forging his own path. She left the house, vowing she would kill Talon if he refused to heed her words. The next morning, Katarina and Dran performed a blood bond ritual that linked her to her new blades, enabling her to teleport to them, and vice versa. We see these abilities in the game. Intending to protect Swain from her father, she headed for the Immortal Bastion. Upon meeting, Marcus revealed he had sabotaged Katarina's mission in Demacia, and the genuine target of Swain's orders was not Lux, but Marcus himself. The final battle began. In a desperate bid to end his daughter, Marcus chose self-sacrifice by detonating a devastating wolf's maw explosive. Katarina swiftly hurled a dagger to knock the charge from his hand, then flung her blade high into the air, intending to teleport to it before the blast. However, Swain intervened unexpectedly, seizing the bomb and redirecting the impending explosion toward Marcus, incinerating him instantly. After the fight, Swain congratulated Katarina on her assignment, explaining that it had been a test to find his fuse, the one person capable of killing him if his demon ever gained full control. Fully embracing her role as Swain's executioner, she eliminated Jeridan 2 months later in northern Freljord. While Katarina carried out assassinations, her mother Soriana and sister Cassiopeia were busy weaving political intrigue. From childhood, Cassiopeia du Couteau stood out for her keen mind and wit. While her older sister Katarina trained under their father Marcus and became an assassin, Cassiopeia learned from her mother Soriana how to wield power and influence. At one point, Soriana fell ill after an attempt on her life, a poisoned coon. Cassiopeia tended to her mother during this period, fostering a closer bond as Soriana recovered. When Marcus and Katarina returned to Noxus, Cassiopeia and her mother stayed behind in Erzeris. Soriana confided in her that they were part of the Black Rose cult, which had extended its influence to Shirima. Upon reaching adulthood, Cassiopeia was taught to be cunning and manipulative, using others as tools, then discarding them when convenient. She was initiated into the Black Rose by secretly killing those who had plotted against Soriana. Having been inducted into the Black Rose's plans, Cassiopeia ventured into the Shiriman ruins accompanied by the Shiriman mercenary Severe. Once Soriana learned her father had sided with Jericho Swain, who had overthrown Boram Darkwill, she realized the Black Rose was in jeopardy. Therefore, she commanded Cassiopeia to seek Shirima's divine power. Sworn to her mother's oath, Cassiopeia led a raid on the underground tomb of the Forgotten with Severe. She stabbed Severe in the back before seizing the Shalikar to open the tomb's door and claim the god warrior's ascension power. However, Cassiopeia was bitten by a stone serpent that guarded the crypt, painfully transforming her into a half-human, half-serpent. Overcome with despair, she lamented her lost life for weeks but ultimately pressed on, adapting to her new form in hopes that her newly tapped ascended magic might prove useful to the Black Rose. The du Couteau family is not simply a band of assassins, it's an emblem of Noxus. Their blades shape the destiny of kings, their schemes rewrite history, and their belief in strength forms the bedrock on which the entire empire stands. But can this household endure amid swirling betrayals and machinations, or will their own ambitions lead to their collapse? If you guys found this video enjoyable, please support our work by liking, subscribing, and hitting the bell. Thank you for joining me. See you guys soon over a mug of the finest ale in all of Runeterra.